I'm just thinking back to like being a kid.
I know.
You know, like when you're a kid and you're eating gum and then you're like, oh, some peanuts.
Savory snack fillings in cones. What I'm imagining here is different fillings, and I wrote some of these down because these are the first that occurred to me, like a spicy nacho cheese filling or a roast beef and gravy, maybe a cheese dip and bacon bits.
Tell me about the
peanut
cone.
butter. The cone would be like almost like what Pringles are, and it could vary. But for example, Pringles are just compressed potato chips.
Yeah.
Why can't you also compress nuts? Why can't you
Corn
compress
chips, yeah.
corn? Exactly.
Yeah.
And almost like a giant Frito cone with like a savory filling inside that you eat as a snack.
So it's like an ice cream, but savory.
But not cold, and savory, yeah. It might be
cool.
a good snack.
It's also kind of like a hand pie.
It's a hand pie. It's hand food. Yeah. I'm sure you can do a lot of fillings out there.
Luxury picnics.
Like glamping, but for picnics.
Just picnics. We were in Newport a couple summers ago. As we were going along, we saw these people having a fancy picnic. And I was
How'd you know it was fancy?
Well, there was like linens and champagne flutes.
Like a high tea
And yeah, it was like high tea. Wow. And I saw they had a big tray of oysters. And I was like, that looks set up. I think it probably was. And I think these things exist. I'm just saying it's a good business. Again, this is not like some new amazing idea.
That almost goes back to...
This is just, I think it's an easy business to start.
Agree.
And
if we go way back to one of our very first episodes, we talked about that beach or hiking like cooler. They would pack the cooler for you.
Yeah.
Not fancy,
Cooler,
but you could make it fancy.
Yeah.
And
similar.
wherever you're going to end up, maybe they deliver it there or you go and pick it up and off you go. I would imagine for a fancy one though.
I'm saying you just show up and
it's all set up for you. Yeah.
And like you could surprise, it'd be a great date surprise thing.
Of course, yeah.
Hey, we're just going to go down to the park and sit by the water and have a drink.
Yeah.
You know, and like for a date.
No,
and
I
then you
like
get
it a
there
lot.
and it's like set up and maybe it's a blanket on the ground. Maybe it's a table. You choose.
Credit card rewards program where you choose specifically which brands or services you want the points applied to. Now, I know with many cards you can pick from a lineup of things, but I don't believe this exists. I don't believe you can say to the credit card company, can you ask these brands that we use a lot on our behalf, ask them if they want to participate in your program. And they might be willing to because we'll shop more at their brand then. We're getting points. I don't know all the practicalities of finance like that. Yeah. It just struck me that every time I whip my card out, and we use our card a lot, we pay for everything with our credit card.
Of course, yeah.
Why can't I add those things to the brands that I already buy?
Well, typically you get the points, right, on your card.
So we use it for travel, but what if we didn't use it for travel?
No, but not just for travel. Because like if you go to, so I have a Capital One Venture card.
We do too.
Right, and so I use it for travel, I use it for everything, but...
Not a sponsor.
Should be. When I go to Amazon, it says, do you want to pay for this with points? And it knows how many points I have on my card. So anyway, that's one.
I don't know if I've ever seen that. And I'm on Amazon every so often.
Yeah, whenever I go to check out, it says, do you want to apply your points to pay for this?
I need to look at that more.
But then also...
That's useful. Right there, that's useful.
Also on Capital One, for example, you can choose like Best Buy or Apple or whatever and shop through them and it applies more cash back at certain times a year. They also run like promos, like, oh, this month Best Buy's offering an extra point.
Well, those are for big purchases. I'm thinking more like ongoing stuff, like small little things you use all the time.
Like Q-tips or whatever.
Whatever. Maybe or craft foods. Maybe I buy a lot of craft foods because they do cheese dips and they do all kinds of foods, right? And maybe I want to have some kind of way of... or maybe even through the...
So you're thinking more brand specific than store
maybe
specific.
Brand, or maybe even like your local supermarket. Like if you could hook up my Stop and Shop supermarket card with my credit card and really tie those two things. I don't really want the supermarket points. Those are like, they're okay. Yeah. But I would love to. I pay for everything with the credit card, you know?
No, I get it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure what the mechanics are of that. Maybe you guys can fill us in. I don't know.
Yeah. A seasonal decoration service or even monthly decoration service for the exterior of your home. There are Christmas-like companies
ones,
out there, right? We see those
some,
in our neighborhood all the time. People get, the lights put up or whatever. But I'm thinking it's a service that comes out and decorates your porch, decorates, puts new plants out there for you, potted plants, decorates your mailbox.
So not necessarily a seasonal like Easter or
maybe
or Halloween.
it might be spring. Sure, in the spring, you do like Eastery spring stuff and Halloween stuff around Halloween.
But it could also just be on the off.
But maybe
months.
in between on those off months too, they just come in and they do something that's just a little more seasonally appropriate.
Some themed thing.
Yeah, it doesn't even, maybe it's themed.
Choose your theme
maybe
and
it's
we'll
just in the summer it's just bright and cheerful summery stuff.
No, I could totally
stuff.
see that. I could totally see that. For people like for example, who aren't green thumbs, but they love what other people's gardens look like out front.
Well, there are landscaping services. There's plant services. I'm just saying this is like, we set up all of those things, whether it's lights or a new wreath on your door or, potted plant on your front step.
And I kind of like that because then you come home one day and your home looks kind of nice. It's like getting your car washed almost,
Kinda, yeah.
Nuts and gum together at last.
Oh.
I love this idea.
I'm just thinking back to like being a kid.
I know.
Like when you're a kid and you're eating gum and then you're like, oh, some peanuts. and then it like gets together and the gum has this like...
And you get like little bits of nuts in the
it's
gum.
Awful.
So I was thinking,
nothing worse.
What are there other... No, but maybe there's a thing in there.
Yeah. Bad gum.
What about other unusual snack combos like mint and citrus? So you get the gack, right? And what about hot soda? I think I've heard of hot soda. Like why? Why is hot soda bad? I want to know why hot soda is a bad thing.
Yeah.
We just got so accustomed to cold fizzy drinks, right?
Yeah.
But what would a hot fizzy drink be like? Maybe it would be refreshing in a different way, you know?
It's like sake, right? You like sake. It's
not carbonated,
it's not fizzy,
right?
But it's a typically not hot drink. Wine.
Hot, right? I mean, I do like hot sake, but I think the carbonation, that's where the weird combination comes in.
The carbonation is weird.
And why can't you do mint and citrus? Like why
can you not?
I think I've seen like
I know there's some
I saw
mint,
a lemon
citrus
mint
gum.
thing once, but I'm thinking more like really strong.
Pungent.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Actually, mosquito repellent is eucalyptus and lemon, and it's actually really effective. It's very effective.
I wouldn't want to eat it. A backyard movie night rental service. I want to have a backyard movie night. We went to a kid's birthday party. They had one of those big inflatable screens. The kids watched a Disney movie in the backyard. And it was fun for everybody.
Yeah, we've been to those.
The adults. But how about a service that comes, sets up the projector, sets up the screen, sets up seating possibly, sets up a popcorn machine and candy, and makes it like an event. It's like a fun event. I'm saying again, this is all coming down to convenience, right?
Yeah.
They come, they set up the whole thing. They set up the sound system. They set up anything that you need. And maybe there's different tiers to crank it up a notch. Maybe there's like laser lights and fog machines. And, it's like hiring a DJ
and seating.
a school dance.
Bringing seating with them.
Yeah,
because you're making the theater for them outside. Yeah.
All kinds of different seating maybe. Maybe there's bean bags or there's chairs for the adults.
I would be surprised if those didn't already exist, in some numbers.
And again, these aren't things that maybe these things do exist. I'm just saying these are quick, easy businesses to start tomorrow. Like, what would it take? Let's talk about that for 2 minutes.
I mean, the inflatable screen,
the inflatable screen, you go on Amazon.
But it'll pay for itself.
Right, but you go on Amazon, you buy one of those. Maybe you buy a really good one, it's $500, right? Okay, done.
And in 3 setups, you've paid for it.
And now you go buy a little PA system with speaker stands and a little amplifier.
Yeah.
I think another $500, you could have a decent one that's probably good enough for the crowd.
Stacking chairs, a couple tables for the snacks.
A popcorn machine, maybe another few $100, right? So anyway, long story short, under $3,000, I bet.
Yeah.
You could have something going that you could run Facebook ads, Instagram
and
ads,
local
TikTok
neighborhood. Stick your business card at the
bakery. You could run ads tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you could be booked through the season.
Yeah.
The blow up movie guy.
Yeah.
Insta movie guy.
Yeah.
You could do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
You place an Amazon order, and by the weekend you've got all the stuff in place to be able to. What would you pay somebody to do that? Let's say set up
for a kid's
minus
birthday
the
party,
chairs.
10 kids or so. I mean, I could totally see
20 people.
20,
yeah, sure. $1,000.
I wouldn't pay $1,000.
$500.
More like $500.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a big to do, I'd do $500.
And they bring the popcorn,
Yeah.
candy,
All ready to go. Yeah, yeah. I like that.
$500. And really, what do? They come, they set it up, they turn it all on.
Yeah.
And then maybe they hang out, maybe they leave. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, if the popcorn machine goes down or the projector goes down, I think you'd have to have somebody there the whole time.
I like the
But
cotton
you could
candy
hire
thing
a kid
too.
to do that. Yeah, cotton candy.
Cotton candy, yeah.
Kids would love it.
Yeah, there's definitely a business there.
It's like going to the movies. Maybe you have tickets that the kids can use for, you know.
Yeah.
The kids like that, you know, to get
Yeah.
like, oh, we've got a movie ticket and a candy ticket and a popcorn ticket.
Bring the mobile arcade with them and let them use their tickets to play games, you know?
Yeah.
I like the idea of telephone, but for adults, a progressive story writing site where random users take a starting idea or line and add something. Then another. It might be a total mess, but it might be really funny.
I remember this back in the early internet days. I'm talking 1994.
Jeez.
You know, like there was a site that had this. It was, you know, when people
Like
were
a-
testing out the first CGI
Yeah.
type, CGI.
Oh, you post and then someone else posts and
the first-
Funny.
not computer graphics.
I mean, it's a little bit like also like
Common
the
Gateway
progressive
interface.
drawing game, you know, except this one's writing. Like, okay, there's the starting sentence.
Yeah, I like it.
Someone do something with this, you know.
Yep. Home office or studio decor service, right? So like this that we have behind us, it's a pain in the butt to set up. You got to get lighting right, everything. With more and more people wanting their office to look good behind them on a Zoom call,
I see what you're saying.
et cetera. A service that just goes out, sets up the decor, the lighting, audio maybe.
It's like what they do for, realtors do this. They set up the house,
staging,
they stage it, and
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's just for your office. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just somebody to come in, and that's all they focus on. It's
Yeah.
not, they're not going to come, and they're not an interior decorator. They're not going to decorate your house. It's more about making you look good on a Zoom call,
Right.
making you sound good on a Zoom call,
Yeah.
putting the backdrop that you want behind you, and lighting and
lighting. I mean,
lighting's a lot of it. As
It is, and they're helping out with audio as well. Then I would
Yeah,
assume.
yeah,
So it
sure.
just sound better. Yeah.
That's
I
up
like
to,
that. So you're more
and
professional.
It's up to you.
Digital camouflage, an opt-out system that tells digital cameras to auto-blur you. And the person asking this didn't know either, but they were asking, what could it be, a QR code or some kind of symbol that you wear? Could it be an app that is broadcasting via Bluetooth? Don't take a photo of this area. I have no idea how that would work.
Yeah.
Or would it be an electronic jammer? You're not going to put lotion on. That's like anti-camera lotion. You know,
No.
but I do see that sometimes.
Like a
And you
privacy.
were just at Disney World, but when we go some places, I sometimes think like, oh God, I'm gonna be in two of that guy's photo albums.
The other
forever.
thing that, never mind the photo albums, the thing that we were seeing when we were in Disney a lot was people like live streaming and talking to chat, you know, like, hey chat, I'm walking up to the blah, 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 blah.
God,
Like
you
they're
think
like, you know,
going out to
they're
2 million
online
viewers.
right now. Now they probably have 2 viewers. I don't know, but
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe they've
not.
got 2
No,
million.
maybe you're famous. You just don't know it.
So I'm like, dude, I really don't want to like, you know, be on your silly live stream.
Yeah, that is an interesting point right there, because it's not just people snapping photos. It's a lot of people doing selfies, doing live streams where maybe you don't want to be part of their little universe. You
Right.
want to have your privacy.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you're out cheating on your spouse.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be caught.
Your spouse is like, why did you get that QR code tattooed
And
to
what's
your
that
face?
stuff all over your face?
That's my privacy lotion. Micro retreats for burnout recovery. So
Yeah.
short local retreat, 1 to 3 days, where you can go to technically detox, not technically, to technologically detox.
You mean going off grid for 3 days?
You go off grid. It's just to kind of let your brain recover from whether it's work or just sick of being on your computer or whatever it is. It's just this kind of quick hit 1, 2, or 3 day retreat, which just focuses on a quick de-stress, a quick digital detox.
Digital detox. Yeah, you do hear about people who want to go off grid. They want to just kind of get lost for a little bit. They're sick of the scrolling.
And I don't know, maybe that's not enough. Maybe a day or 3 is not enough. not enough.
I mean,
time
it
for
could be
that,
different. I mean, I would see 2 or 3 days not being on your phone as being useful.
Yeah.
And not keeping up with
and
the
maybe
latest
there's
shows.
therapies in that related to that are specifically target unwinding that part of your brain.
I mean, it opens up a huge thing, and it's something that we have talked about before, and we're going to talk about again, which is the level of creator burnout that's out there is extremely high.
Super high.
And that's why so many, YouTube channels fail. But yeah, I could totally see that kind of thing working. I don't know what it would cost because it sounds like a spa retreat would be expensive.
Yeah, it's not going to be cheap. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the
but
kind
you
of
wanna
thing
be
I would
pampered.
guess it's close to $1,000 a day type thing.
Yeah.
But where it's, everything in it focuses on that digital detox, that brain wellness, which is, whether everything from the food to the therapy to the exercise.
Because being around your house, it's almost like trying to quit smoking, but you're still around smokers.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah, no, it is.
So with you
just
got
when
your
you go to yoga even or something, it feels good. And that's one of the reasons people like to go to the gym, go to yoga, go to
meditation,
because these things, massage therapy, all these things, you kind of get taken out of.
And that's very brief. That's only an hour or two.
Yeah, sure.
But
But even just going in for a massage for an hour, even just having the soothing music and lighting and, the thing at the end.